Hello and welcome. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program. And the second part of February's fly is called the Partridge and Glass. We're going back. This month is, I guess, Glass Bead month. Since the first fly we did was the Scots Lime Caddis. And this one, again, is using glass beads. The material list, we are using brown thread, 8 or 6/0. The hook we are using is Daiichi 1720. It's a wet nymph hook and a size 12. Again, we're using the glass beads. I picked these. This one is purple Aqua, and it is an 8/0. Like I said in the previous video, that whenever I go to Hobby Lobby, I'll pick up a sleeve of these beads that are on sale. I just got to keep track of the colors that I have, so I'm not duplicating these tubes, because like in a tube you get like several thousands of these beads, and I certainly don't need 2 tubes of thousands and thousands of beads. So I have like a little list on my phone to where I keep track of, so I'm not double buying beads. And then the last part of this fly is partridge feathers. And these are natural, so you get the gray and the brown in the bag. But this one, the fly is going to have a brown tail and a gray hackle. So let's go ahead and get started. I have preloaded these beads because they do take some time to get onto the hook, and you are dropping several of them. Okay, so we're just going to start out with our thread, and like before, we're just going to start in the back. Of the fly. And we're going to see where we measure here and the way that the fly is going to look. Okay, so that's a little right about there. Looks good, because then I can come up here, have the thread the end there, tail, and then I can have my hackle, and then the head coming up a little bit, and that looks like it's evenly spaced out. So I'll come up here, put some thread there. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and put my tail in of the partridge. And so we're just grabbing a hunk off the partridge and straighten it out, and then we're just going to pluck it off. You don't need that many, but you don't want like 1 or 2. So probably about 7 to 8 in a clump will work. So now what we want to do is we want to see how far we want it off the tail. A little more, right about there. So come in, we're going to pinch it a little more than I want. So let's go ahead and there we go. Put a couple wraps in it, and that looks good. I'm going to bring it all the way back. Make sure that's nice and secure. And let's clean this up quite a bit. Okay. So let's bring our wraps forward. And let me look back through this, make sure I have the correct. Okay. Yep, there's no dubbing or anything on it. So let's go ahead and build this up. to where it'll conform with the bead in the back. Okay, it looks like it's doing pretty good. Just need to build it up a little more, because we want this to be kind of uniform going into that bead. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more in, a couple more wraps, and we'll see how it turns out. Maybe a little more. Problem is you got to build up underneath it to get this to conform. And what I don't want to do is lose my space up here at the top. So let's see. I like that. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to move the beads up. Take our whip finish. And let's take our thread and pop it off, and let's move this back. So let's go ahead and bring our thread and let's tie it in, make sure we capture it. Pretty good, and we did. So let's go ahead and pop off the tag. Alright, so now I'm just going to build this up a little bit, kind of like what we did in the back. I don't want to do it too much on the eye because we don't want to crowd the hook eye. But we're going to end up building up this head anyway, but I'm just going to go ahead and start with a little bit now. There we go. You can see how it's built up there, but just envision of that we are still putting a hackle up there, and we're going to have to tie that in. So just don't go too crazy with the wraps. So now what we want to do is we want to grab our hackle feather, and we want to get a Christmas tree going. If you don't know what that is, essentially what we're doing is we're grabbing the tips. Where are we at? We're grabbing the tip of the feather here, and then we're pushing the fibers back to make it look like a Christmas tree. Okay. So we've got that good. So now we need to capture the top of the Christmas tree. Like so. Put a good wrap in it, make sure it's good. Ooh, I don't like that movement. Okay. Okay. A little more wraps than I wanted to. I just saw that one fiber popping up there. So we're going to get in here as close as we can without cutting our thread and remove the remaining. Now, guess what we're using again? Hackle pliers. So let's go ahead and put it on the stem. Alright, let's get our thread up at the top of the eye. And so now what we want to do is we want to take these fibers and we want to make sure that we're not wrapping on top of the existing fiber. So we're going to wrap up, then we're going to come over a little bit and not doing, we're doing touching wraps but not overlapping wraps. Okay. And so now usually you should only get about two and a half turns with this, and then you're going to run out of fibers. So let's go ahead and tie that stem in. So now we can come up here and clean up the rest of this. We got some fibers I don't like there. Okay. And I do see that one down there, and we're going to take care of that. So now what we want to do is wet our fingertips, and then we want to grab all these fibers and push them backward. And if they still become unruly, just keep on going back. I've got that one that's really being unruly. There we go. That's fine. The problem with it is if you wrap too far back on this, then what happens is, see, I'm pushing this down. And so what will happen is I'll have 3 fibers on the top, and then I'll have like 10 on this side and 10 on that side. I'll have a bunch of gaps in it. So we don't want it to ruin the integrity of the hackle going all the way around. So I'm just going to leave it as is. It looks good. I'm going to get my whip finish. Put some turns on this before I lose my work. 3. We don't need too many. Let's not capture any fibers. That looks good. Alright. And there we go for the Partridge and Glass. This fly was taken out of the glass bead book that our program had, and it was a pretty cool fly. And the beads are not 100% correct, but it is what it is. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program, and we appreciate you watching us with this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We would certainly appreciate some likes and some shares. If you choose to follow us, we're going to be doing this all year with addition to net building, step by step, and rod building step by step. And that's going from ordering, where we order our materials from, how we size up the rod for the guides. We've already done the cork training of gluing and shaving down cork for to fit your hand. That video was going to be posting sometime this month or early next month. So we've got a lot of videos that are going to be popping up, and would like to get the outreach to fellow programs. Eventually I will put all the forms for the net building online, to where people can download those and cut them out if they need to, if they decide that they want to build their own nets. All of this is going to be absolutely free for anybody who wants it. This is Project Healing Waters, Fayetteville, North Carolina program, and we thank you again for watching.